Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I'm going to have a little bit of a rant. And it's one of these rants that I need to have because people arguing against this, it's fine if you're just a jackass sitting at home who doesn't compete in any sport, who's just a commentator. That's perfectly fine if you want to be a complete idiot. That's your business. You have a right to have an 80 IQ and to be a blithering idiot. That's your right. But if you ever have children who compete in sports, your ignorance and stupidity is going to harm your children. And that's the reason this needs to be discussed further. And it's every time I make a video discussing strength and athletic performance for various athletes, football players, rugby players, sprinters, mixed martial artists, BJJ, boxing, anything else. Anytime I bring these up, you have a bunch of ass clowns who come in and try to pretend that strength doesn't matter in these things, and they try to cite these examples. Well, when I went and played whatever football, a bunch of guys showed up with muscle coming out of their ears, and we ran circles around them, and we was all weak pussies. And all that muscle coming out of their ears, because, muscle comes out of your ears. You sound like a jackass when you type that, by the way. Okay? That it didn't help them. Well, that's not reality. That's a weird delusional story that you have that probably isn't based on the real world. Because in the real world, NFL players are really strong and they train hard. And tons of the West Side type training that I promote has made its way into the NFL and into the combine testing and everything else. Okay? That's the reality. And it's for good reason. Same thing with MMA, martial arts. Hey, I know multiple instructors. I'm friends with numerous competitors. And again, anyone who's actually tried to look at my private Facebook, you'll see there's a lot of them on my friends list. They laugh at you guys because there's these weird, bizarre ideas in the martial arts world that strength doesn't matter. Well, good instructors who take guys to tournaments and stuff and win are laughing at your stupidity. Because I know guys who do that, and they're like, no, dude, yeah, if you can deadlift 700 pounds, that'll actually help you a lot with BJJ. It'll help you. You'll have an advantage over a guy who deadlifts 350 at the same body weight. Right? They understand this. And by the way, I know guys who do MMA and BJJ I'm friends with, who do deadlift over 600 pounds. Okay? It's an advantage. And when people argue against this, they sound completely stupid because they hear when you say this will help an athlete produce more force. Okay? In their head, they hear, oh, you're saying if someone lifts weights, they don't have to practice. Okay, and if that's honestly what you think that we're saying or implying, then you're too stupid to have an opinion. Like, you need to just not ever talk about anything because you're a complete blithering idiot, you're below average intelligence, and you have no critical thinking skills. Okay, you're not capable of arguing with anyone, and you should probably shut up and let experts talk. Because, and definitely don't ever talk to your kids about sports. You're going to destroy their chance of getting a scholarship. Like, you're going to ruin your child's future being that stupid. Because it sounds like when people say these things that if they have a child who's a gifted athlete who decides they want to do football or baseball or whatever it is, something that they could make a really, really, really good living at if things go well for them, they're going to stand there and tell them, no, I don't want you in the weight room. Don't touch no weights. That's what you're going to sound like. And your child is going to lose their chance of getting a scholarship because you're stupid. Which is probably good. Your kid's probably stupid too, to be honest. Like, if you really think that way, your kid's probably dumb also. So that's okay. Like, that's fine. He can go be a garbage man. He can go dig a ditch or something. We need those people. But if you keep them out of the weight room, you're harming their future. And I can tell you right now, if they do get that scholarship to a D1 school and their strength and conditioning coach has them doing speed boxes with bands, I'm going to recommend that you don't step in at that point and tell them, no, they can't do that. Okay, because you're going to get them kicked off their football team and they're going to lose their scholarship. because you're stupid. Now, no one is implying with any of this that sport-specific practice isn't critical. No one is implying that a boxer doesn't need to spend thousands of hours practicing if he's also strong. Like, this isn't even implied. And the fact that anyone thinks that this is what is being implied makes you an idiot. No, I'm not saying that someone who's a strong powerlifter, which, by the way, I don't agree with a lot of powerlifting training, right? And anyone who comes to my channel knows that there are entire schools of thought in powerlifting that I don't agree with. I think more powerlifters need to be more athletic and more explosive and more conditioned. So if that's going to be your argument, you're really coming to the wrong channel. I believe powerlifters should be doing plyometrics and sled drags and conditioning work and everything else. Okay? I do all that. But if you stand there and you think, if you honestly think that the laws of physics are on your side, let's say you believe in boxing or MMA or whatever, that's your thing. If you really and truly think that a strong person can't produce more force once they are trained, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. And yes, there's a point where strength can overcome skill. The problem is that the really strong guy who's untrained is just going to hurt himself. It's just not that he can't produce force, by the way. I can tell you right now, a guy who can squat 600 pounds doesn't need to learn how to kick to probably kill you with his foot. Problem is he doesn't know how to not hurt himself. He doesn't know how to not potato flop like an idiot. Okay? He's just going to flail around like a moron is what's going to happen. He has no training at all. But I don't care how good you are at MMA. If you're 150 pounds and a guy who squats 650 and weighs 275 jumps up and tries to kick you and just potato flops through the air and falls and breaks his own hip when he lands on the ground because he's an idiot and doesn't know how to kick, he's still going to break bones when he hits you. Like, you're still going to have some cracked ribs and stuff from that kick. The laws of physics cannot be changed. Okay, martial arts isn't magic. There's not like magical dragon energy involved that just change. You know, again, you guys watch too much anime. In the real world, martial artists and boxers have to obey the laws of physics and they have to obey the laws of force production. A stronger person can produce more total force. Now, doesn't mean they're going to be proficient at kicking or punching. No. But what happens when they do become proficient? That's what we're talking about. If you have two boxers who both have been boxing and have 5 years of really, really good practice and experience learning to punch, and one of them weighs 160 pounds and benches 225, and the other is 220 and benches 405, I can promise you the other one's going to be able to punch a hell of a lot harder. It's not even going to be in the same ballpark. Does that make sense? Okay, learning to punch, learning technique doesn't give your muscles and your structure a magical ability to produce more force than the laws of biology and physics allow for. The physical structures of your body and your strength are still going to be limits to the amount of exact energy that you can produce. So think of it this way. The stronger person doesn't automatically punch a lot harder. No, of course not. But they have the potential to with appropriate training. And they are not going to need as much training as the weaker guy to produce more force. They won't. Again, the basic laws of physics apply. And if you don't understand these things, you should probably step back. If I'm saying all this and you're disagreeing with anything that I'm saying here, and you can't produce an actual physics or biology argument against it, you're probably a moron. And that's okay. Like a third of the population are morons, but you're one of them. Stop trying to have debates and discussions. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.